Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. May I please request you to be seated as the ceremony will be starting shortly. A very good evening to all the distinguished guests, esteemed speakers, and attendees from all around the globe. Welcome to the inauguration ceremony of the Global Public Health Summit 2025, held in conjunction with 30th Annual Academic Sessions at the College of the Committee of Physicians of Sri Lanka, hosted here in the picturesque city of Colombo. Ladies and gentlemen, as you may already know, the College of the Committee of Physicians of Sri Lanka, or CCPSL, stands as a premier professional body representing the nation's public health specialists. It brings together an esteemed community of consultants, specialists, and trainees in community medicine, united in their mission to advance the field of public health through academic excellence, evidence-based practice, and service to the people. The college is deeply committed to fostering the health equity by organizing a wide array of programs and initiatives aiming at uplifting community health, strengthening the public health workforce, and enhancing public awareness on critical health issues. Beyond its academic pursuits, the CCPSL also strives to build strong bonds of fellowship among professionals and institutions engaged in the noble discipline of community medicine, nurturing collaboration, mentorship, and shared learning. This year marks a significant milestone in that journey as the college proudly hosts its 30th annual academic sessions, a celebration of 3 decades of scholarly exchange, innovation, and leadership in public health. Marking its landmark anniversary, the event has been transformed into a truly global platform, the Global Public Health Summit, GPHS 2025, bringing together the thought leaders, policymakers, practitioners, academics, and visionaries from all around the world to reflect on our progress and shape the future of public health under the compelling theme of delivering high-quality care in resource-limited settings. So, distinguished invitees, at this time, we respectfully acknowledge the arrival of our guest of honor, Her Ladyship, Mrs. Murdu Fernando, of Presidential Council, Honorable Chief Justice, and the Honorable Minister of Science and Technology of Sri Lanka, Professor Krishanta Abesena. Let us receive them with the reverence they richly deserve as they are escorted to the dais with a ceremonial grace that befits the distinguished gathering. So in a few moments, the distinguished guests of the ceremony, including the guest of honors, the Honorable Minister of Science and Technology, Professor Krishanta Abesena, and Her Ladyship, Mrs. Murdu Fernando, of Presidential Council, Honorable Chief Justice of Sri Lanka, will enter the premises in ceremonial procession. The dignitaries will be accompanied by the sergeant-at-arms carrying the ceremonial mace into the procession. Ladies and gentlemen, the ceremonial procession will be entering shortly, comprising of council members and academic dignitaries. This tradition, steeped in scholarly heritage, marks the commencement of our solemn academic celebrations. So now, may I kindly like to invite you all to rise from your seats to welcome our esteemed guest as the procession arrives. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated, that it may take another couple of minutes as the procession arrives. Ladies and gentlemen, the ceremonial procession will now enter, comprising of the council members, the academic dignitaries. This tradition, which is stepped into the scholarly heritage, marks the commencement of the solemn academic celebrations. So I request you once again to please rise from your seats to welcome.
Harigan, aingran.
Ladies and gentlemen, let us now pay tribute to our motherland. Please remain standing for the national anthem of the Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka, a reflection of our pride, unity, and shared purpose.
Sri Lanka Mata, Appa Sri Lanka, Namo 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 Mata, Sundara Sri Dharini, Surendi Ati Sobhamana Lanka, Ranya Ganaya Mekamal Walaturu Iri Jaya Bhumiya Ranya, Apahata Sapa Siri Seta Sadhana, Jeevanaye Mata, Pilidanu Mena Apa Bhakti Puja, Namo Namo Mata, Appa Sri Lanka, Namo 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 Mata, Obave Appa Vidya, Obamaya Appa Satya, Obave Appa Shanti, Appa Hada Tula Bhakti, Oba Appa Aloke, Appa Ge Anuprane, Oba Appa Jeevanale, Appa Muktiya Obave, Nava Jeevana Devini, Nithina Appa Kubudu Karan Mata, Jnana Pida Vadavamina Ragena Yanu Mena Jaya Bhumikara, Ekmavakate Daru Kala Vedina, Yamu Yamu Vinopama, Prema Vada Samaveda Durara, Namo Namo Mata, Appa Sri Lanka, Namo 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 Mata.
The lighting of the traditional eye lamp is cherished symbol in our culture, representing enlightenment, wisdom, and the dawn of new beginnings. We now invite our distinguished dignitaries to step forward and light the ceremonial eye lamp, making this inauguration an esteemed summit. May I cordially invite the guest of honor, Her Ladyship, Mrs. Murtha Fernando of the Presidential Council, Honorable Chief Justice of Sri Lanka. The guest of honor, Honorable Minister of Science and Technology of Sri Lanka, Professor Krishant Abesena. The conference chair and the president of the College of the Committee Physicians of Sri Lanka, Dr. Kapila Jayaratne. The president of the Commonwealth Medical Association, Professor J.A. Jayalal. The Vice Chancellor, University of Colombo, and the Secretary General of the Asia Pacific Academic Consortium for Public Health, Professor Indika Karunatilaka. Keynote speaker, Regional Advisor on Nutrition at the UNICEF Regional Office for South Asia, Dr. Shivai Murira. Orator of the Professor Dolita and Fernando Oration, Dr. Renuka Jayatesa. Representing the official of the Ministry of Health, Deputy Director General, Public Health Services 1, Dr. S.M. Arnold. Representing the past presidents and fellows of the College of the Committee of Physicians of Sri Lanka, Dr. Vinyarya Ratna. The Honourable Member of the Parliament, Dr. Nihala Bevan. The representing the past presidents and fellows of the College of the Committee of Physicians of Sri Lanka, Dr. Vinyarya Ratna. The conference co-chair and Dean of the Faculty of Medicine, University of Colombo, Professor Vajra Disanayaka. The scientific co-chair, Professor Upul Senarak. Representing the WHO for Sri Lanka, Dr. Yasara Samarakun. Country representative of UNFPA Sri Lanka, Mr. Kunle Adini. Deputy representative of UNICEF, Ms. Bagona Arilana. Representing platinum sponsors, the chairman of the National Dangerous Drug Control Board, Dr. Indika Vaninayaka. The Secretary of the College of the Committee of Physicians of Sri Lanka, Dr. Ruan Ferdinando, and the Scientific Co-Chair and the Treasurer of the College of the Committee of Physicians of Sri Lanka, Dr. Tushani Dabrera.
Devo kan body alapan bam buri ambush
Was a truly captivating performance showcasing the rich cultural heritage of our Sri Lanka. And now, to officially welcome you all to this prestigious inauguration ceremony, may I cordially invite the conference chair of the Global Public Health Summit 2025 and the president of the College of the Committee Physicians of Sri Lanka. Put your hands together to Dr. Kapila Charatna.
Good evening. Guests of honor, Her Ladyship, Mrs. Murdu Fernando, President's Council, Honorable Chief Justice, Professor Krishanta Abesena, Honorable Minister of Science and Technology, our special guest, Professor J. Jayalal, President of the Commonwealth Medical Association, Dr. Nihal Abesinghe, Member of the Parliament, Professor Indika Karunatilaka, Vice Chancellor of the University of Colombo, and Secretary General of the Asia Pacific Academic Consortium for Public Health. Our keynote speaker, Dr. Zivai Murira, Professor Dulitayan Fernando Orator, Dr. Renuka Jayatissa, Additional Secretaries of Ministry of Health and other Ministry of Health officials, colleagues from UN agencies, WHO, UNICEF, and UNFPA, Chairman, National Dangerous Drug Control Board, Dr. Indika Vaninayaka, representatives from other professional colleges, past presidents, fellows, council members, members of College of Committee Physicians of Sri Lanka, distinguished invitees. It is with immense pride and deep humility that I warmly welcome all of you to the Global Public Health Summit 2025. We hold this in conjunction with the 30th annual academic sessions of the College of Community Physicians of Sri Lanka. Public health serves as the often unseen engine behind longer lifespans, healthier families, and stronger, more resilient nations. You can see here the large number of people in Sri Lanka who fall ill, seek outpatient care, attend clinics for chronic diseases, require inward care in hospitals, and ultimately lose their lives. Its core mission is to prevent illness, avert avoidable deaths, extend life expectancy, lessen the strain on healthcare systems, and empower communities to take charge of their own health, that is, public health. In doing so, it transforms the focus from treating disease to preventing it, and from managing illness to promoting overall well-being. The first professional association of public health officers in Sri Lanka was the Society of Medical Officers of Health, which was established during the British colonial era on 26th of November 1927. It was established with a view to safeguarding interest of its members and promoting public health in the country and stimulating interest of the public in matters relevant to their health. As the premier professional body in preventive medicine, we have been privileged to lead national initiatives, build research capacity, and strengthen health systems through science, service, and solidarity. The present Council of CCPSL has undertaken a range of high-impact academic and advocacy initiatives aligned with its mission of ensuring every baby thrives, every community flourishes. In partnership with Dr. Hannah Blencoe from the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine, CCPSL conducted a specialized training workshop on stillbirth and bereavement care and produced a policy brief on Sri Lanka in the prevention of stillbirth, preterm birth, birth defects, and neonatal deaths, aimed at strengthening national frameworks. A key highlight was the successful hosting of the 19th annual conference of the International Stillbirth Alliance, that is ISA 2024, which brought together global experts and policymakers to address stillbirth prevention and maternal health policy. Complementing with this, CCPSL organized a deeply moving stillbirth memorial service, offering a platform for remembrance and healing for affected families. The college also conducted an innovative academic engagement through a reflective storytelling night, which captured the rich history of Sri Lankan public health through personal and professional narratives, fostering intergenerational learning and inspiration among participants, and a creative digital photography program for public health professionals designed to enhance visual communication skills and empower participants to effectively capture and convey public health messages through impactful imagery. Further cementing its policy leadership, CCPSL convened a high-level dialogue with the Honorable Minister of Health to advance policy reforms on termination of pregnancy in cases of congenital lethal anomalies and to strengthen maternal, newborn, and child health services. CCPSL sustained its commitment to academic capacity building through a series of continuing professional development programs, a national workshop on manuscript writing, and the prestigious Dr. F.A. Wickramasinghe Oration 2025, which focused on adolescent and youth health. Monthly journal clubs and young community physicians forums offered continuous professional engagement and knowledge sharing on current public health priorities, including vector-borne diseases, NCDs, and advanced statistical methods. Media outreach remained a cornerstone of CCPSL's public engagement strategy with 2 impactful media seminars, one addressing emerging public health challenges in Sri Lanka and the other commemorating World Birth Defects Day, spotlighting congenital anomaly prevention. These coordinated academic, policy and communication efforts reflect CCPSL's leadership in driving evidence-informed public health action across Sri Lanka. In collaboration with the Family Health Bureau and John Pearson Hospitals, we conducted the innovative program Rhythm to Life to engage adolescent school children through music-based interventions, promoting healthy relationships, goal setting, and resilience against challenges such as risky sexual behaviors, drug use, and violence. CCPSL also disseminated engaging and culturally resonant social media messages to the general public during the Aurudu season, promoting lifestyle modifications and healthy habits in alignment with festive traditions to encourage wellness and preventive health. ComHealth Fest emerged as a novel and vibrant strategy to engage the public in understanding and celebrating public health by blending education with creativity through interactive booths, art exhibitions, cultural performances, and health screenings. It transformed complex health messages into accessible, community-driven experiences. A key highlight was the health walk, which brought together stakeholders from across the health sector, academia, and the community in a powerful demonstration of unity and collective commitment to wellness. The fest successfully showcased how public health can be made visible, relatable, and inspiring to people of all ages, reinforcing the importance of prevention, wellness, and community empowerment. Apart from these initiatives, CCPSL made numerous appearances across various electronic media platforms and organized engaging activities such as friendly cricket match and a talent show to showcase the diverse talents of our members. Over the past few months, we have strategically rebranded the CCPSL to enhance the visibility and bring renewed glamour to the public health profession, positioning it as a dynamic force in shaping national health discourse and innovation. My sincere appreciation is extended to the Council of CCPSL and the dedicated group of postgraduate trainees for their steadfast support, professionalism, and collaborative commitment, which have been pivotal in successfully implementing the college's initiatives and advancing its public health mandate. Organizing a global summit on public health holds profound significance for Sri Lanka at this critical juncture as the country grapples with a complex
century in the 19th. On our achievements, those words, ladies and gentlemen, I hope I have complimented my chair, Dr. Kapila Jayaratna's talk with the global perspective of why we organize this conference. And I hope that all of you would enjoy this conference. And I hope that the medical students who I met today in the afternoon as they were coming in would be inspired by the stories that they hear, because they need to take this torch to the future and take our health system as well as the global health systems that they would work in the future to higher levels for the benefit of humanity. So with those words, ladies and gentlemen, you have all honored us with your presence here this evening at this inauguration, and I hope that you will enjoy the conference and take back fond memories of this conference and work towards developing health systems across the globe. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Vajra Dissanayake, for your insightful words and commitment. Ladies and gentlemen, we are privileged to be joined by several distinguished global leaders whose contribution have significantly shaped the health systems of medical education across this world. So next, we will hear the opening remarks from those distinguished luminaries. First, may I cordially invite Professor J.A. Jayalal, the President of the Commonwealth Medical Association, to deliver his introductory remarks.
Ladies and gentlemen, and the distinguished guests, the distinguished chief guests, the Honorable Chief Justice of Sri Lanka, the Honorable Minister, the Secretary, and the Vice Chancellor, and the distinguished leaders. It is a great pleasure and privilege for me to represent Commonwealth Medical Association in this Global Public Health Summit. And first of all, I would like to thank the chair, the co-chair, Professor Kabilan and Professor Vajira, for inviting the Commonwealth Medical Association to witness the glorious inauguration of this moment, and congratulate you for an excellent work which you are doing. I represent Commonwealth Medical Association, which is an accredited body of the Commonwealth and which is a federal unit of all the national medical associations of the 56 Commonwealth countries. The theme with which we work this year is Together We Thrive. Commonwealth has 56 countries, but majority of the countries, more than 38 countries, are the small countries or the small developing countries. And we also have Canada and Australia. But what is the hallmark of the Commonwealth? We consider all of them are equal, all of them are needs and accessible and affordable and equitable health care. The theme of you echoes the vision of Commonwealth, that is bringing the quality health care in the resource-deprived or resource-poor setting countries. So on that count, the global public health movement, which you have started today, is going to be a great eye-opener for a lot of the countries to step in forward and support the neighboring and the needed countries on the health care, especially in the era with the new policy of our Honorable President of the US, the cutting short of the fund for the WHO and various other healthcare organizations. It is a time that all the developing countries has to come forward and step in to ensure the quality healthcare is reaching all the resource professional alliance president and bringing a new hope and a new vision in the public health and the Commonwealth activities. During the COVID time, it has taught us a lesson. If your neighbor is not safe, you are not going to be safe. It's not the individual health, it is not the individual safety, but our neighbor's safety is mandatory to make sure that every one of us is going to be safe. The virus or the bacteria is not going to respect the boundaries, the geographical barriers, and it can surpass anything. So it is necessary more so, we do not talk only in terms of our country, but we need to talk in terms of the global perspective whenever we talk on the public health. I fully acknowledge the statement of Professor Dr. Vajira, which says that many of the other countries still feel happy to see or proud to see the health indicators of the Sri Lanka. I belong to India. I represent the Indian Medical Association too. And we often used to say net fertility rate or the MMR or the IMR or that you are the country where you don't have a malaria, then such as the health indicators are excellent. And these should be transcended to the other countries. So on behalf of the Commonwealth Medical Association, with a folded hand, I appeal to you. And this is the time that the people who are enriched with the vision of the global health or the vision of the common public service has to come forward, join hands together and work together to ensure the affordable, accessible and equitable health care is able to reach every member of the Commonwealth, every member of the world and every member of the society. That is the perspective with which this conference is initiated. I am so happy for that. And you also mentioned about the climate change, which is another important area what the Commonwealth is working on the global health perspective, because unless we are going to work on that, the mitigation of the impact of the rising the heat, the climate change, and we may end up in a great trouble. So it is a time, I'm sure this conference will talk on that issue of how the medical fraternity is going to come forward and mitigate the global impact on the climate change to ensure the clear pathway for the public health the achievement. And let us remember again, and if my neighbor is not safe, I cannot be safe. And that is a concept with which the global perspective is working on that. I'm sure and happy to see that a lot of luminaries are here to share your vision and thought, so that you will be able to, all of us can join together and work together with a common vision to ensure that our globe in which we are living today will be safe, not only for today, but for our children to come, the generation to come. And they will be also able to ensure a positive, healthy atmosphere, a positive health and vibrant, dynamic, the growth pattern in their life. For that, I wish and pray this conference will ensure the pathway. I once again take this opportunity to thank all the leaders of this the Global Health Summit for making these arrangements and inviting us to be here. And I assure, on behalf of the Commonwealth Medical Association, we are there to work with you, because our theme is let us thriving together. So we are ready to support and lend our helping hand in all the occasions, all the need, and wherever you want to reach, and we will be there with you. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you, Professor Jayala, for that motivational speech and your continued support. Next, I would like to invite on stage Professor Indika Karunatilaka, the Vice Chancellor of the University of Colombo and Secretary General of Asia Pacific Academic Consortium of Public Health, to share his insights.
Very good evening to all of you. Your Ladyship, Honorable Mutfrandu, the Chief Justice of the Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka, Professor Krishantha Abesena, the Honorable Minister of Science and Technology, Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka, Dr. Nihala Besingha, the public health expert of international reputation and Member of Parliament, Dr. Kapila Jayaratne, the President of the College of Community Physicians in Sri Lanka and Conference Co-Chair, Professor Vajiraj W. Disanayaka, the Dean of the Faculty of Medicine, University of Colombo and the Conference Co-Chair, Professor H.A. Jailal, the special guest and the President of the Commonwealth Medical Association, Dr. Renuka Jayatissa, the orator this evening, and Dr. Sivai Murray, the special guest representing UNICEF, all the representatives from UN agencies, fellows, presidents, past presidents of the College of General Practitioners, the council members, the distinguished invitees, and ladies and gentlemen. I'm indeed privileged and honored to bring very specifically best wishes, greetings, and congratulations from two institutions, two great institutions, the University of Colombo and the Asia Pacific Academic Consortium for Public Health, two organizations which had worked with Sri Lankan health system for many years and contributed. And also two organizations that have worked with the College of Community Physicians in Sri Lanka for many years and many decades in fruitful collaboration. This is a great initiative, very appropriate initiative, and this endeavor, we cannot think of a more appropriate theme in providing high quality health care in resource constrained settings. Because there cannot be better example than Sri Lanka in providing high quality healthcare with very limited resources. Sri Lanka, like it was mentioned before, has achieved it over so many decades. And it's considered as a success story all over the world. There, the University of Colombo, which started as a faculty of medicine in 150 years ago, has contributed immensely. It was one of the legendary deans of the Faculty of Medicine, Professor O.E.R. Abeyratne, was instrumental in establishing the public health systems in Sri Lanka. Similarly, the APAC, the largest public health academic organization in the Asia Pacific, from 35 countries, have worked in very close collaboration with Sri Lanka and also recognize Sri Lanka's public health achievements. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, we have achieved a lot. How can we go beyond? How can we reach the next level? Here, I see the way forward. This conference, the Global Public Health Summit 2025, is an achievement achieved with collaboration with so many organizations. The networking and the collaboration is the way to go. When the public health started as a discipline with the legendary study of Dr. John Snow with the pump handle breaking and start of the discipline of epidemiology, then the discipline of community medicine started and made a lot of contributions, and beyond then the concept of public health, where we realized that health is beyond just medicine. It goes beyond medicine, going to other areas like engineering, agriculture, nutrition, so on and so forth. Therefore, I'm really happy to see that we have invited the Chief Justice as the guest of honor for this occasion, and I can see this expert from many areas, many disciplines. And nowadays it has even gone beyond that. We are talking about One Health. We are talking about global health, where the health is going beyond the national boundaries. Now we are talking about planetary health, where we discuss about integration, collaboration, or partnership for different disciplines, different specialties, so on and so forth. Therefore, I think this Global Public Health Summit will provide us ample opportunities to network, share our experiences, and work out the way forward, how we can collaborate. Once again, wishing the very best for the global public health from the University of Colombo and the Asia Pacific Consortium of Public Health, APAC. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Indika Karunatilaka, for your insightful words and commitment. Ladies and gentlemen, it is our privilege to now hear from one of the leading voices in national science policy and innovation. Now, to invite Professor Krishant Abesena, the Honourable Minister of Science and Technology of Sri Lanka, to deliver his address, may I cordially call upon stage the conference chair of the Global Pacific Health Summit 2025 and the President of the College of the Community Physicians of Sri Lanka, Dr. Kapila Jayarathne.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's both a great honor and a privilege to introduce our guest of honor this evening, Professor Krishant Abesena, the Honorable Minister of Science and Technology of the Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka. Professor Abesena is a renowned academic, accomplished public health expert, and an unwavering advocate for evidence-based policy and equitable health systems. His distinguished career spans over 3 decades, marked by an extraordinary blend of academic excellence, professional leadership, and national service. A board-certified specialist in community medicine, Professor Abesena holds an MBBS from the University of Colombo, a Doctor of Medicine, MD in Community Medicine, and several postgraduate qualifications, including a Master of Arts in International Relations and an MA in Buddhist Studies. His diverse academic background is further enriched by a BA Hons in Christian Studies, reflecting his deeply multidisciplinary approach to knowledge and societal understanding. Over 27 years, he has shaped the academic and research landscape in Sri Lanka, most notably as a senior professor in community medicine at the University of University of Kelaniya. His leadership extended to key administrative roles, including Deputy Director of Postgraduate Institute of Medicine, PGIM, University of Colombo, and Chairperson of several strategic committees, where he contributed to academic governance, fiscal responsibility, and postgraduate education. Parallel to his academic commitments, Professor Abhayasena has made substantial contributions to national health policy. He has served as an accredited curriculum reviewer for the Sri Lanka Medical Council and a Senate member of the University of Kelaniya, and was an active member of the Board of Study in Community Medicine at the PGIM, University of Colombo. He has also played an instrumental role in shaping medical education, ethics, and governance frameworks across the country. In the public health sphere, his impact has been profound. Having served in the Ministry of Health and as President of the College of Community Physicians of Sri Lanka in the years 2016 and 17, he has influenced strategic decision making, ethics in healthcare, and public health interventions. He currently chairs the Committee on Ethics and Privileges of the 10th Parliament of Sri Lanka, a testament to his unwavering integrity and commitment to principled leadership. Sir, I invite you to share your thoughts with us this evening. Thank you.
Good evening. Her Ladyship, Chief Justice, Honourable Member of Parliament, Dr. Nihal Abesinghe, past President of our college, Dr. Kapila Jayaratne, President of the College of Community Physicians of Sri Lanka, past presidents, fellows, the council members, Professor Indika Karunatilaka, Vice Chancellor of the University of Colombo, Professor J. Jayalal, President, Commonwealth Medical Association, Professor Vajir Disanayaka, Dean, Faculty of Medicine, University of Colombo, Keynote Speaker, Dr. Sivai Munira, the orator, Dr. Renuka Jayatissa, officials of the Ministry of Health and Mass Media, and professors, senior lecturers, ladies and gentlemen. It is with great pleasure and deep respect that I join with you all today to the Global Public Health Summit and the landmark 30th Annual Academic Sessions of the College of Community Physicians of Sri Lanka. This is a proud and significant milestone for our college as we celebrate 3 decades of unwavering commitment to uplift public health and academic excellence. Over the years, global health has undergone significant transformation. However, recent developments from pandemics and shifting disease patterns due to demographic transition, climate change, and growing social inequalities have underscored the evolving complexity of the public health landscape. These multifaceted and interconnected issues demand urgent, coordinated, and innovative responses. In this context, the Global Public Health Summit serves as a timely and essential platform, bringing together diverse voices and expertise from around the world to foster inclusive dialogue, catalyze impactful collaborations, and drive forward equitable, evidence-based, and cost-effective solutions that respond to the real-world needs of communities. The college theme for the year, delivering high-quality care in resource-limited settings, ensuring every baby thrives, every community flourishes. And the theme for the summit, transforming public health for sustainable future, reflected ongoing commitment of the College of Conversations in addressing the pressing healthcare needs of the current time across the life cycle. It reminds us that as community physicians and public professionals, our work transcends to the homes, schools, different work settings, streets, and systems that shape the health of our people. We are gathered today and for the next few days for the summit, not only to share knowledge, but also to renew our collective resolve, to advocate, to lead, and to serve. Let this event be a springboard for ideas, partnerships, policies that can truly transform health outcomes, not just in Sri Lanka, but regionally and globally. I would also like to place on record my deep appreciation for the visionary leadership of current president and the dynamic council of the college. Though their tireless efforts and innovative spirit, they have not only strengthened the academic and professional stature of the college, but have also infused renewed glamour and recognition into the discipline of community medicine. Their work has helped position the CCPSL as a leading voice in shaping public health discourse, both within Sri Lanka and beyond. As the Minister of Science and Technology, I see immense potential for synergy between our ministry and the health community. Advancing digital health technologies, supporting innovations in disease surveillance, promoting health-related research and development, and investing in scalable, context-appropriate technologies are crucial areas where science and technology can empower public health. I believe that closer collaboration with the College of Community Physicians of Sri Lanka can further harness this potential to improve health outcomes and strengthen our national health systems in a sustainable, future-ready manner. Actually, we already re-established our Cochrane collaboration to promote evidence-based medicine. Now, that is your part to further develop it and formulate evidence-based clinical practice guidelines. And also, we proposed all the medical faculties to establish medical technology units in their faculties. I think that will be helpful. At the moment, we have a robotics center in our ministry, and also AI. We can use AI and robotics to improve our health care. Again, at the moment, we are going to submit a cabinet proposal to establish health technology assessment. Actually, that is a common, we are going to do technology assessment. Under that, one arm is health technology assessment. So that is our pet field. Actually, the health technology assessment is in our manifesto 2024, and not only 2024, 2018 manifesto. Dr. Nihal Abesinghe, we worked together to develop our manifesto, even 2018 and 2024. It's in our manifesto. So we can do because health technology assessment should be done by a independent third party. So that is the best place in my ministry to establish health technology assessment. Again, at the moment, we are also collaborate with the NMRA to drug testing in our laboratories. Again, we can extend into food sampling also. Food sampling is a problem in our country. As we begin the Global Public Health Summit 2024-2025 today, I wish to extend my sincere gratitude to the college president, the council, and the organizing committee, our academic partners, international collaborators, and every one of you who continues to contribute so meaningfully to field of public health. I wish you all a successful, engaging sessions ahead to question, to connect, and to be inspired, resulting in an overall impactful event. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Krishanta Besena, the Honorable Minister of Science and Technology of Sri Lanka, for those inspiring words. Your address has not only enriched this gathering with valuable perspectives of public health in Sri Lanka and beyond. So we are truly honored by your presence and grateful for the encouragement you have extended to our community this evening. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are immensely honored by the presence of our guest of honor, the towering figure in Sri Lankan judiciary, whose principles and integrity echo the very ethos of justice and equity in health. Now, to welcome her leadership, Mrs. Murdu Fernando, President's Council, Honorable Chief Justice, may I cordially call upon stage again the Conference Chair of the Global Public Health Summit 2025 and the President of the College of the Committee of Physicians of Sri Lanka, Dr. Kapila Jayaratta.
It is both a great honor and a privilege to introduce our guest of honor this evening, Honorable Chief Justice Murdu Nirupa Bidushini Fernando, PC. President's Council Murdu Nirupa Bidushini Fernando was appointed as the 48th Chief Justice of the Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka on 2nd December 2024. Her ladyship is the second of only 2 women to hold the position of Chief Justice in more than 200 years of history of the Supreme Court of Sri Lanka. Chief Justice Murdu Fernando received her early education at Princess of Wales College, Moratuwa, an educational institution founded more than 14 decades ago by famous philanthropist Sir Charles Henry de Soisa. It was Princess of Wales College, Moratuwa, which nurtured and guided her ladyship during her 13-year-long student life. Her ladyship, Chief Justice Murdu Fernando, not only excelled in studies, but also successfully contributed to many extracurricular activities in school, which included oratorical contests, debating, literacy associations, and student movements. Leading the school debating team, winning special awards such as Best Debater, Junior Prize for the Most Outstanding Student, holding post of House Captain, School Prefect, and ultimately becoming the Head Prefect are nothing but features of an excellent school career. Her ladyship, Murdu Fernando, went on to study law at the University of Colombo graduating with a Bachelor of Laws degree. The strong foundation led by Her Ladyship to build her illustrious professional career is demonstrated by Her Ladyship completing both the preliminary and final examination at the Sri Lanka Law College with honours and becoming the first in the order of merit to win the first scholarship, the Sir Lalita Rajapaksa Memorial Prize and the A.B. Kure Memorial Prize. Her Ladyship continued with legal studies and obtained a Master of Laws degree from King's College, London on International Business Law. Her Ladyship, the Chief Justice, apprentice under Eardley Pereira PC and the Julius and Creasy law firm. Subsequently, 3 days after being sworn in as an attorney at law in 1983, Her Ladyship joined the Law Commission of Sri Lanka as an Assistant Secretary. Thereafter, Her Ladyship Murthy Fernando joined the Attorney General's Department with a history exceeding 130 years, where she began her career as a State Counsel in 1985. Rising through the ranks at the Attorney General's Department, Her Ladyship went on to become the Senior State Counsel, Deputy Solicitor General, Additional Solicitor General, and Senior Additional Solicitor General. Chief Justice Murthy Fernando was appointed a President's Counsel in March 2014, while serving as an Additional Solicitor General. Her Ladyship served in the Attorney General's Department for 37 years and was also the head of the Civil Section. Subsequently, Her Ladyship President's Counsel Murthy Nirupa Bidushini Fernando was appointed to the Supreme Court in March 2018 and as the Chief Justice of this country in December 2024. Dedication and commitment had illuminated her path during her 40 years of service in the public sector and continued to earn respect, pride, and honor throughout this long journey. Madam, it is with honor I invite you to address the gathering. Thank you.
Good evening to all of you present here today, members of the medical profession, the learned professors, doctors, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure and honor to be at this inaugural ceremony of the Global Public Health Summit 2025, co-hosted by the College of Community Physicians of Sri Lanka and the Faculty of Medicine, University of Colombo, coinciding with the 30th annual academic sessions of the College of Community Physicians. I thank the co-conveners of this event for your gracious invitation and wish you the best in your deliberations on delivering high quality care in resource limited settings and ensuring every baby thrives, every community flourishes. Distinguished guests, the profession most of you belong to, the medical profession, and the profession I belong to are known as noble professions. Your profession is highly respected and esteemed because the core purpose of the medical profession is the service to the citizenry of a nation. Your profession involves making sacrifices for the greater good and well-being of the society at large and individuals in particular. I was astonished and amazed by the presentation done by the co-convener, Dr. Jayaratna, and to see the progress that the community physicians have done in Sri Lanka. The legal profession is also considered a noble profession because of its fundamental role in upholding justice and protecting the citizens' rights. Thus, the core value of our professions are similar, having a high degree of expertise, integrity, and moral value, committed to ethical principles, a moral compass, serving the public, and doing good. I'm aware most of you are members of another noble profession, namely education and teaching, which is also referred to as the noblest of all professions. Hence, there is a thread that runs through the fabric, which binds, links, and unites us together in some kind of a union. Sri Lanka boasts of a free healthcare system, and I believe the community medicine is what reaches the grassroots of our nation, whether it is curative or preventive. While I do not claim nor walk in your shoes, I speak from a place of deep appreciation of the role community medicine plays in the lives of the masses of this country. The limited resources that is affecting the high quality care is not only an issue for the medical profession, but for the judiciary as well. So on that basis also, we are all on the same bandwagon. We feel the same challenges. In view of the scarcities of finances, more than the judiciary, the medical profession is affected because it is directly connected to the masses of this country. Because of these limitations, the needs of the societal members cannot be satisfied. Economics will say that there is no way to remedy this issue because people will always have wants so insatiable that they can never be met, and hence no amount of infinite resource will be capable of satisfying those desires. Seeing as the focus of this summit is delivering high quality care in resources limited settings, I believe one ought not focus on what cannot be achieved due to the constraint placed above our heads, but focus more on what we can do and what has to be done. Resources will always be limited, to which degree may vary, but there will never be enough to satiate our infinite desires as humans to make healthcare the best that it could possibly be. Instead, I believe we do what we can from what we have. This is certainly not a call to stop focusing on raising additional resources, but merely offering a different perspective, one to ensure, encourage, appreciate and recognize this esteemed profession, this famous profession. Like Oliver Twist, who famously asked for more gruel, a bold act even to face consequences, strive to obtain the dues for the healthcare system, especially to ensure every baby thrives and every community flourishes. At the end of the day, what makes or breaks a healthcare system are the backs of the professional people it is built upon. And in my humble opinion, it is those of the community physicians who are in public health. The importance of their contribution cannot be overstated. the prioritization of the health of the communities is what allows a country to flourish. So may I conclude repeating those famous words of Winston Churchill. Healthy citizens are the greatest asset any country can have. Thank you once again, the co-conveners and the members of the College of Community Physicians for extending this invitation to me to address you and for this opportunity to speak a few words to such an esteemed audience. Thank you. Have a great evening.
Thank you very much, Your Ladyship, Mrs. Murthy Fernando, President's Council, Honorable Chief Justice of Sri Lanka, for your gracious presence and for deeply thoughtful address that has added immense value and dignity to this occasion. Your Ladyship's words have eloquently underscored the importance of equity, justice, and ethical stewardship in public health principles that lie at the very heart of our mission. We are truly honored by Your Ladyship's participation in this milestone event, and we remain ever grateful for the encouragement and wisdom you have so generously shared with us this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, the spotlight now turns to one of the most anticipated moments of this evening, the keynote address. So we are deeply honored to be joined by Dr. Shivai Morira, the Regional Advisor on Nutrition at the UNICEF Regional Office for South Asia, a distinguished global expert whose work has significantly influenced nutrition policies and interventions across the region. Dr. Morira will speak on the theme of immense global relevance and urgency, nourishing South Asia, narrowing opportunity gaps and inequities in the delivery of maternal and child nutrition services and care. To formally introduce our keynote speaker, may I now warmly and respectfully invite the scientific co-chair of the Global Public Health Summit 2024 and the chair professor of the Department of the Community Medicine of the Faculty of Medicine, University of Colombo, Professor Upul Senarath, to read the citation and graciously invite Dr. Morira to deliver the keynote speech. And may I also request Dr. Shivai Morira to step forward to the stage while the citation is being read.
The President of the College of Community Physicians of Sri Lanka, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure and privilege for me to introduce our keynote speaker tonight. Dr. Shivai Morira is the Regional Advisor Nutrition at UNICEF Regional Office for South Asia based in Kathmandu, popularly known as ROSA. In this role, Dr. Shivai is leading broad regional efforts to improve nutrition of women and children in South Asia region. His role includes advisory services and technical support on strategic planning, program development and planning, quality assurance, program monitoring and assessment, advocacy, networking and partnership building, innovation, knowledge management, and capacity building. A Zimbabwean national, Dr. Shivai has worked for over 2 decades on nutrition and food policy and programs in low and middle income countries. His past experience spans work on multi-sector nutrition programming, policy and research. He is an alumnus of University of Zimbabwe and Tufts University of USA. It's a very brief citation, but that doesn't really reflect the extensive amount of work contributed to the public health globally by Dr. Shivai. On behalf of the College of Community Physicians, I cordially invite Dr. Shivai to deliver the keynote address tonight. Over to you.
Thank you so much for the kind introduction. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. the President of the College of Community Physicians, Dr. Jayaratne, the President, Commonwealth Medical Association, Professor Jayalal, the Minister of Science and Technology, Professor Abe Sena, Vice Chancellor, University of Colombo, Professor Karuna Thilake, the Dean, Faculty of Medicine, Professor Disanayaka, and Honorable Chief Justice, Mrs. Fernando, and all distinguished guests invited today. I'm very grateful indeed to the organizers of the Global Public Health Summit for inviting me to join the distinguished list of speakers who have contributed to this summit. It's a great privilege and honor to be here. Sri Lanka stands out as a great exemplar in the region and globally of what can be achieved through scaled public health efforts, offering us a story of success in accelerating improvements in child survival. This offers hope to other countries in the region and beyond of what can be achieved when you have commitment, unwavering resolve to improve the well-being of each and every citizen of a country. The College of Community Physicians is a key part of that story. My talk today goes right to the heart of the broader goals of the Global Public Health Summit, exploring innovative, evidence-based solutions that ensure equitable and accessible health care for all. I'm going to explore these solutions through the lens of delivery of maternal and child nutrition services. And I'm going to argue on the need to narrow opportunity gaps and inequities in the delivery of maternal and child nutrition services. I'll make an argument in three parts. First, South Asia's insufficient progress in resolving child malnutrition is affecting the survival, growth, and development of children and continues to hamper the region's attempts to accelerate human capital formation. Child stunting, wasting, and hidden hunger pose serious threats to human capital formation and the economic development of nations. Second, systems are failing children, and in many countries in South Asia, the delivery challenge is a constraint to progress on nutrition. And nutrition services are not universally delivered or accessible to all. There are inequities in the delivery, and some children and their families and communities are being left behind. Third, I'm going to suggest some ideas on the kind of change that we need to be debating if this tide is to be reversed. The remedies need to go well beyond the confines of just the health system, because across South Asia, children, women are all affected by all forms of malnutrition. In addition to undernutrition, overweight, obesity is becoming a big challenge and a big risk factor for attainment of good health. And we need, in equal measure, to also deal and address the commercial determinants around this increase in overweight and obesity. So South Asia continues to have high prevalence in numbers of wasted and stunted children of any region in the world. When looking at the challenge and context around nutrition, girls and women are undernourished and overlooked. And this is mostly driven by lack of access to nutritious foods, inadequate access and utilization of nutrition services, and then third, harmful social norms and practices. 1 in 2 girls and women within the region suffers from anemia. 1 in 10 suffers from underweight. And this is contributing also to poor birth outcomes. So at the heart of the nutrition challenge within South Asia is the high prevalence and burden of infants who are born low birth weight. 1 in 4 infants is born low birth weight within the region. And this is a key driver contributing to the high prevalence of child stunting, child wasting that we see within South Asia. And 1/3 of all stunted children globally are in South Asia, and over half of all wasted children are in South Asia, and this affects their growth and development in very significant ways. And then third, access to nutritious diets is still a challenge in several countries within the region. Too many infants are breastfed optimally. So early initiation rates of breastfeeding are still suboptimal. When we look at the regional average, 4 in 10 infants are actually put on breast milk within the first 1 hour of birth. And diets within the complementary feeding period also remain suboptimal. And 1 in 5 infants is fed a diverse range of nutritious foods. And of course, Sri Lanka stands out in the region as having higher rates of dietary diversity when it comes to young children. But still, some are missing out on the benefits of getting all the food groups, minimum of 5 food groups, which are needed for their healthy growth and development. And what's underlying this? At the heart of this are nutrition services not universally delivered across health system. It's a point which I'll touch on later on. We see a lot of opportunity gaps in the delivery of services. And secondly, we also see a lot of inequities in the delivery of those services. And food systems are also failing children because they are not delivering the nutritious foods which are needed for children. At the same time, we are seeing a big increase in availability of ultra-processed foods, which are contributing to the surge in overweight, obesity within countries in the region. And then lastly, social safety nets are not reaching the most vulnerable children where they exist, and often coverage is low, meaning those children in most need are not receiving these very important safety nets. I would also like to touch on a point which was highlighted by earlier speakers, that the climate change crisis, the global climate change crisis, is also increasing nutritional vulnerabilities and is threatening to slow or even reverse progress on nutrition in the region. Therefore, going forward, it's going to be important we ensure systems have a lot of resilience in the face of the global climate change crisis. And perhaps to further illustrate a point which I made, I think when it comes to girls and women, we think this is a very important pathway to address, especially if the region is going to accelerate its efforts in reducing malnutrition. Also important to break the intergenerational cycle of malnutrition, which is very much manifested in the high prevalence of low birth weight within the region. So the insults of malnutrition in utero is something which requires concerted efforts to reduce, both for the well-being and health of women, but more importantly, to break this intergenerational cycle of malnutrition that we see in the region. And it means we need to start the effort much earlier, improving the nutrition of adolescent girls, and secondly, ensuring adequate nutritional support and care during pre-conception, and also great support during the pregnancy period. As you can see, when looking across the different regions, the progress in reducing low birth weight has been very slow within South Asia. And compared to other regions, South Asia carries the highest burden compared to others. And we all know, why do we care about malnutrition, and why is it important? We know malnutrition causes an immense drain on human capital, posing a serious threat to the economic development of nations. And also for countries in the region, Sri Lanka included, ensuring good nutrition is very important to ensure the optimal development of young children, so that countries like Sri Lanka can be very competitive in the knowledge economy. And it's quite hard to be competitive in the knowledge economy if we continue having these high proportions of children who are stunted, who are wasted. And therefore, it's important we enhance the investments on nutrition to enhance also the competitiveness in the global knowledge economy, which is becoming critical now as we go forward, and also to drive the progress of countries. Most of you know that stunting, wasting, hidden hunger, they threaten the cognitive development of children. On the left is sort of the typical brain cells of children who are not malnourished. But when they are malnourished, there's limited branching and there's impaired brain cell development. And this has huge implications later on the learning, mental development, and this adds a lot of cost to countries. So that's something which needs to be prevented, and we have the solutions, and we need to ensure all children access these solutions. So this loss of human capital, as I highlighted, it impacts a combination of skills, knowledge, and experiences that individuals accumulate throughout their lifetime. So it's beyond just a question of implications on disability adjusted life years, but also huge implications on educational attainment and also productivity as adults. And the evidence on this is very strong. And now I would like to sort of turn to the delivery challenge that we see in some of the countries in South Asia, which again speaks to the heart of this summit. How can we better deliver, primary health care services in resource-constrained settings? While we can always learn more, we know which interventions should be delivered to prevent and treat undernutrition. This starts in adolescence, in pre-pregnancy, during pregnancy, at birth, in the first 6 months of infants' lives, in the first 1 year, in the first 2 years. These are what's called the golden 1,000 days. They are very important because if we miss this window of opportunity, reversing malnutrition becomes difficult later on. Therefore, we need to ensure the whole range of high-impact nutrition interventions are being delivered within this continuum, be it offering micronutrient supplements, appropriate counseling around nutritious, healthy dietary intake, but also providing, supporting caregivers and mothers and families on early exclusive breastfeeding, ensuring between 6 months and 2 years, infants and children have access to adequate complementary foods and continued breastfeeding, and also that early stimulation and care is supported to support with the child development. These are all important interventions that need to be delivered within this golden 1,000-day period. But the reality, not all infants and children are benefiting from these interventions which need to be delivered. And we start seeing big opportunity gaps in the delivery of services. For example, maternity services are not being leveraged enough to support initiation of breastfeeding within the first 1 hour. Sri Lanka is a positive exemplar in the sense that this support around breastfeeding is well integrated within your healthcare system. But in other countries, it's not the same. For example, in Pakistan, what we see is when it comes to skilled birth attendance, it is high level of coverage. But when it comes to early initiation of breastfeeding within 1 hour, less than 1 in 4 infants are actually put on breast milk within 1 hour. So for us, we see this as a huge opportunity gap which needs to be narrowed, especially when you have great coverage around your health delivery system. And the big question that we need to ask ourselves, why do we continue having these gaps? And I'm sure we can find solutions, especially for those countries where these gaps manifest. And then secondly, using an example from Nepal, we also see faltering in coverage of key nutrition interventions. So for example, consumption of iron folate, receipt of iron and consumption within the at least 90 days, good coverage, around almost 90%. But when it comes to full compliance, we start seeing faltering of that coverage. It drops down. And then the same when it comes to quality of antenatal care. In some countries, it's still a challenge. So the minimum of 4 antenatal care contacts, still high, but when it comes to 8 antenatal care contacts, we see faltering, which impacts provision of quality care of services. So these are some of the gaps that we feel need to be narrowed within systems of delivery. And then now I would like to draw on some of the work that we've done in collaboration with some of our partners, the International Food Policy Research Institution. What we did, drawing on demographic health survey data sets, we tried to assess the reach of essential nutrition interventions. So looking at what proportion of mother-child pairs are receiving the full range of nutrition interventions. So for this analysis, we looked at 8 essential nutrition interventions, looking how many of the mother-child pairs within the same households were receiving these. So looking, majority of the mother-child pairs were receiving less than 4 out of 8 essential nutrition interventions. So which means there's a gap in the delivery which needs to be narrowed so that all mothers and children is sort of one dyad. We need to ensure they are receiving the full range of interventions. And then secondly, we also noted, I think I've given the example of antenatal care and consumption of iron supplements, that improving nutrition actions within the health system can help close opportunity gaps that exist. But also in some countries, the health delivery platform itself needs further strengthening to improve coverage, but also to ensure it achieves effective coverage, which comes with quality of care. And also what we see when we look at core coverage of health and nutrition interventions, we see high variability also across some of the countries in the region. So while the health core coverage is quite high, we don't see the same around the nutrition core coverage. So which means the systems are not fully delivering for the mother-child dyad in terms of the full range of interventions. The same in India, looking at the DHS data, good core coverage of health interventions and also the delivery platform, good coverage, but we see variation when it comes to nutrition core coverage. And then of course, this variation varies geographically within the different countries, pointing to differences in delivery capacities which need to be addressed. And behind this, using the example of interventions delivered for pregnant women, what we see across the region for the different interventions, that they are the ones in the red colors, that across majority of countries, we see some significant bottlenecks when it comes to delivery of some of the interventions, be it delivery of some micronutrient supplementation, and some of these bottlenecks across the different health system blocks when it comes either budgeting and financing or data and information challenges, which preclude seeing where are some of the gaps in delivery and taking corrective action. And these system bottlenecks, they need to be plugged to deliver proven interventions so that they can be delivered with high coverage. So now, perhaps to some of the ideas that I would like to share in terms of what needs to be done to accelerate progress in reducing malnutrition in the region, but also improving the delivery of key interventions. One, the high burden of malnutrition has immense consequences for children's ability to survive and develop, and significant implications for shared prosperity. Secondly, the geographic and population coverage of nutrition interventions in the region is currently not at the level needed to transform the care of children and women. And I think there's a lot we can learn from Sri Lanka, how the primary health care system, the community system, is able to deliver with high coverage so that other countries can also narrow some of those gaps in coverage of interventions. More importantly, the opportunity gaps, which I highlighted, that in some cases, the delivery platforms have high coverage, but when it comes to essential nutrition interventions, we start seeing some of the gaps there. And large-scale programs that deliver interventions across the life cycle are very much needed within the 1,000 days, which I highlighted, with a special focus on improving the nutrition status of women before and during pregnancy, and also improving the diets of children less than 2 years, breastfeeding and complementary foods being a key part of that. And fourth, policy and program efforts should pay immediate attention to closing coverage, equity, and opportunity gaps, and ramping up nutrition delivery through the various delivery platforms. And a multi-system response is very much needed, given the drivers underlying malnutrition within the region. And robust nutrition coverage data is needed to enable progress tracking of nutrition intervention delivery around this continuum of care is very much needed in the region. And looking at the core coverage of nutrition interventions is very important. We know as part of the Universal Health Coverage Index, there's already the core coverage tracking for health interventions, but we don't have one for nutrition. So that's something we encourage countries to also look into, tapping into existing data, survey data systems to also analyze this and see where are some of the gaps so that those can be filled. And then lastly, I think to improve and also ensure the most disadvantaged children and their families receive adequate services, we need to also be intentional as part of the scaling up efforts to also address some of the social and gender inequalities that slow progress on nutrition, especially amongst those disadvantaged children, girls, and women living in the most challenging circumstances, so that we enhance the demand for services. But we think community systems play a key role for that. So we need to ensure we leverage the community delivery platforms and ensure the full package of nutrition services is being delivered. So I think maybe to sum up, I think in line with the theme of this summit, for us, I think South Asia region has made significant progress when it comes to reducing child mortality, but reducing malnutrition has not moved at the same pace. Therefore, we feel it's one of the key determinants of health that requires acceleration in the region. And we think the primary healthcare systems, the community systems that are already there, we need to ensure they are delivering on these essential nutrition interventions. Thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sivai Murira, for that thought-provoking and inspiring keynote address. So your insight into the critical challenges and opportunities in maternal and child nutrition have not only enlightened the audience, but also reignited our collective commitment to closing the equity gap in public health across South Asia. So we are truly grateful for your presence here today and for the valuable perspectives you have so generously shared with this forum. So as a gesture of our deep appreciation, may I now invite Dr. Murira to kindly step forward to the stage once again, while I also invite the conference chair of the Global Public Health Summit 2025 and the president of the College of the Committee Physicians of Sri Lanka, Dr. Kapila Jayarathne, to join us on stage and present a token of appreciation in honor of Dr. Murira's outstanding contribution to this summit. Thank you. And up next, we take a delightful pause from the formal proceedings to enjoy a true touch of melody and artistry. So we are pleased to present a special performance by Dr. Samitha Siritunga and Dr. Chandigam Siritunga, both accomplished specialists in public health who also happen to share a passion for music alongside their professional journey. So this evening, they'll be performing a beautiful Sinhala song penned by the lyricist Dalton Elvis with music and vocals by Pandit W.J. Amradeva, adding a heartfelt cultural note to our program. So let us sit back and enjoy this soulful performance.
Isuru suwanda randu randu Isuru suwanda randu randu Ramdahadiya bindu bindu Isuru suwanda randu randu Gatini hala Gayamu rangoyame sindu sindu Rangoyame sindu sindu Rangoyame sindu sindu බෑතේරන් වලලු දගේ ගෙල බැඳිරන් මාලගේ රන්ගොය මේ නෙලන නගේ සිරියාවයි රටට මගේ බෑතේරන් වලලු දගේ ගෙල බැඳිරන් මාලගේ රන්ගොය මේ නෙලන නගේ සිරියාවයි රටට මගේ landu landu sonduru kinduru landu landu sonduru kinduru landu landu nilum kete landu landu sinduru kinduru landu landu devi pihiten kayamu rangoya me sindu sindu rangoya me sindu sindu rangoya me sindu sindu රත දුටිමි තොලේ මට නොවේදෝ මුකුළු කළේ රන්ගොය මේ නෙලන කලේ මන බැඳුනා පබළු වැලේ දුලතේ රත දුටිමි තොලේ මට නොවේදෝ මුකුළු කළේ රන්ගොය මේ නෙලන කලේ මන බැඳුනා පබළු වැලේ රන්දහදිය බින්දු බින්දු රන්දහදිය බින්දු බින්දු ඉසුරු සුවඳ රැඳු රැඳු ඉසුරු සුවඳ රැඳු රැඳු රන්දහදිය බින්දු බින්දු ඉසුරු සුවඳ රැඳු රැඳු කතිනිහලා ගයමු රන් ගොය මේ සින්දු සින්දු 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 රන් ගොය මේ සින්දු සින්දු. Thank you very much.
So many thanks to Dr. Chandima Siratunga and Samita Siratunga for that soulful and uplifting performance. Your harmony, both as brothers and as a public health specialist, have added a beautiful cultural dimension to this evening's program. And ladies and gentlemen, we now return to the academic proceedings, one of the most esteemed segments of our inauguration, the Professor Dulita and Fernando Oration 2025 of the College of the Committee Physicians of Sri Lanka. This oration is held in honor of one of the most revered figures in the field of community medicine, Professor Dulita and Fernando, a visionary whose contribution have left an everlasting mark on public health education, practice, and policy in Sri Lanka and beyond. So each year, this oration brings to the forefront a topic of profound public health significance, delivered by a leader whose voice and vision continue to shape the national discourse. The theme for this year's oration is Strengthening Child Survival Through Community-Based Interventions, a Public Health Imperative, a topic that lies at the very heart of our collective mission and resonates deeply with our commitment to protecting the most vulnerable among us. So it is now my great honor and privilege to cordially invite the orator, Dr. Renuka Jayatissa, a board-certified specialist in community medicine and an inspiring figure in field of public health, to gracefully ascend the stage. I also invite the conference chair and the Global Public Health Summit 2025 and the president of the College of the Community Physicians of Sri Lanka, Dr. Kapila Jayaratne, to kindly come forward to recite the citation of the orator and also to bestow upon Dr. Jayatissa the Orator's Medal in recognition of our outstanding achievements and the honor she brings to this occasion.
I want to thank CCPSL Council for accepting my suggestion to name the college oration in the name of our pioneer president, Professor Dulita Nandani Fernando. So then came who is going to be the first person to deliver this oration. So we had a committee, and the committee decided that it should be delivered by one of her, Professor Dulita's distinguished students. And among the candidates, here comes the number one, Dr. Renuka Jayatissa. Congratulations, madam. So, Dr. Jayatissa currently serves as the Vice Chancellor of the International Institute of Health Sciences, IIHS, Multiversity, and Head of the Faculty of Food Science and Nutrition. She holds several prominent regional and international positions, including South Asia Regional Coordinator of the Iodine Global Network, President of the SARC Foods Association in Sri Lanka, Regional Coordinator for the South Asia Association of Parenteral and Enteral Nutrition, and Technical Trustee of the Emergency Nutrition Network, UK. She also practices as a visiting nutrition specialist in several private sector hospitals in Colombo. A graduate of the University of Colombo, Faculty of Medicine, Dr. Jayanthi sir holds an MD and MSc in Community Medicine from the Postgraduate Institute of Medicine. She completed further specialized training in public health, nutrition, and at the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine, and in clinical nutrition at the Royal London Hospital. With over 35 years of experience in the public health sector, including work with the Ministry of Health, UNICEF, and other international partners, Dr. Jayanthi sir has led more than 25 national nutrition surveys, developed evidence-based policy, and shaped national nutritional indicators. She has been a trailblazer in translating data into impactful programs across Sri Lanka, particularly in maternal and child nutrition, micronutrient deficiencies, obesity, food security, and emergency nutrition response. As former head of the Department of Nutrition at the Medical Research Institute, MRI, she was the pioneer behind the establishment of postgraduate clinical nutrition training in Sri Lanka and led the development of MSc and MD programs at the Postgraduate Institute of Medicine. Over the years, she has mentored more than 300 postgraduate trainees in clinical nutrition and community medicine. A profile researcher, Dr. Jayanthi sir has authored over 100 peer-reviewed publications that have informed policy and practice at national and global levels. She is also the principal author of Sri Lanka's National Food Composition Tables and has developed Recommended Daily Allowances, RDA, for the Sri Lankan population. Her leadership extends to more than 30 national committees, including the National Nutrition Steering Committee, Food Advisory Committee, Codex Subcommittees, and the NCD Council. She continues to contribute actively to public health governance, curriculum development, and nutrition regulation. Dr. Jayanthi sir's lifelong service has been recognized through numerous awards, including the Presidential Research Award, Sir Marcus Fernando Oration, and honorary fellowships from the College of Community Physicians, the Postgraduate Institute of Medicine, and the European Society for Parenteral and Enteral Nutrition, ESPEN. Madam, it is with honor I invite you to deliver the prestigious Professor Dulithayan Fernando Oration of College of Community Physicians of Sri Lanka tonight. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. President, College of Community Physicians, Dr. Kapila Jayaratna. President, Commonwealth Medical Association, Professor J. Jailal. Minister of Science and Technology, Professor Prashant Abesena. And Dr. Nihal Abesinghe, Member of the Parliament. Honorable Chief Justice, Mrs. Lady Murdu Fernando, Vice Chancellor, University of Colombo, Professor Indika Karunatilaka, Dean, Faculty of Medicine, Professor Vajra Disanayaka, Keynote speaker, Dr. Zivai Murira, past presidents, fellows, council members of the College of Community Medicine, my teachers, dear esteemed colleagues and friends. I consider it is a great honor and privilege for selecting me by the President and Council to deliver the first oration of the Professor Dulitha Fernando. Thank you, President and Council members. Emeritus Professor Dulitha Nandini Fernando was a pioneer in public health and community medicine in Sri Lanka. She graduated from the University of Ceylon in 1968 and began her academic career at the University of Colombo in 1970. She obtained her diploma in tropical public health in 1973 and completed a PhD in public health nutrition in 1973 from the University of London. Her career spanned over 4 decades, during which she served as head of the Department of Community Medicine from 1984 to 2005, and later as Dean of the Faculty of Medicine from 2005 to 2008. At the time of her retirement in 2010, she held the position of Chair and Senior Professor of Community Medicine. Professor Fernando also served as Chairperson of the Research and Higher Degree Committee of the Faculty of Medicine from 1993 to 1999. She was a member of the Planning and Development Committee and the Board of Management of the Development Studies Institute at the University of Colombo. As Dean, she provided visionary leaderships to initiate the physiotherapy degree program at the Faculty of Medicine. An exceptional public health professional, Professor Fernando served as chairperson of the Board of Study in Community Medicine at the Postgraduate Institute of Medicine, University of Colombo from 1992 to 2000. Her contributions to curriculum development in community medicine and other allied specialties were highly influential and widely recognized. She was the founder president of the College of Community Physicians of Sri Lanka, and also held leadership roles in several other professional associations, including the Sri Lanka Association for the Advancement of Science, the Nutrition Society of Sri Lanka, and the Sri Lanka Association of Community Medicine. She served in numerous national and international committees of the Ministry of Health and many UN agencies. Professor Fernando received several prestigious awards for excellence in teaching and research. Her impressive body of research has significantly contributed to the translation of public health evidence into practice in Sri Lanka. She was honored with fellowships from the Sri Lanka Medical Association, the National Academy of Sciences, and the College of Community Physicians of Sri Lanka. Her mentorship was deeply impactful, guiding and inspiring generations of students and professionals in public health. Her unwavering commitment to education and mentorship fostered critical thinking and a deep sense of community service among her students. On a personal note, Professor Dulitha Fernando was my teacher during both undergraduate and postgraduate training. Not only the supervisor of my MD thesis, but also my husband's thesis. And she was my lifelong mentor. Her guidance and unwavering support empowered me, and in turn enabled me to uplift others. My family were always happy to visit her, drawn by her warm and kind nature. It is with deep sorrow that I note Professor Dulitha was not able to receive her final Presidential Research Award. In closing, I would like to acknowledge that Professor Dulitha was fortunate to have a loving and devoted husband, Mr. Suneth Fernando. Unfortunately, today he is not with us. He has some other commitment. Today, as I present the work I have carried out over the past 35 years in the field of public health, I do so with deep gratitude. Much of this journey was shaped and strengthened by the guidance, mentorship, and collaboration of Professor Dulitha Fernando. She has created everlasting professional impact and improvement of public health of Sri Lankans. My oration topic is Strengthening Child Survival Through Community-Based Interventions, a Public Health Imperative. Under 5 mortality and infant mortality and neonatal mortality rates have significantly declined in Sri Lanka, as illustrated in this slide. Currently, all 3 rates are comparable to those in the United States. However, a major concern remains. The majority of child deaths are concentrated in children under 1 year of age, with nearly 2/3 occurring within the first month of life. Addressing this early neonatal mortality continues to be a critical challenge. Lancet has reported that malnutrition is associated with 60% of under 5 mortality globally. In Sri Lanka, although under 5 mortality has declined over the past 20 years, national surveys data show that child malnutrition has remained persistently high. As shown in this slide, 13% of children under 5 years of age are stunted, a rate that has not improved much over the last 2 decades. The low birth weight rate has followed the similar trend. Recent findings published in Nature highlight that malnutrition associated with increased risk of disease, impaired cognitive development, and mortality begins earlier than previously expected. The study emphasizes the children with multiple growth impairments were found to have significantly higher mortality rates from birth to 2 years of age compared to those without such deficits. Currently, most childhood nutrition interventions begin after 6 months of age to avoid interfering with exclusive breastfeeding. However, findings of this study suggest that if public health interventions are not delivered before 6 months of age, it may be too late to prevent stunted growth. As we are all aware, in public health, immediate interventions are essential. But equally important are long-term, sustained investments in public health strategies to ensure optimal child survival. All children have the right to survive and develop their full potential. Within this, every mother and child have the indivisible right to equitable quality health care. This is what public health interventions are important, because they are organized efforts to improve the health of populations or communities. Similarly, a career in public health offers the opportunity to make a tangible difference in the lives of countless individuals. This slide illustrates the public health interventions model, emphasizing that public health interventions are considered population-based when they operate across all levels of practice. These levels are represented by the 3 inner rings: system focus, community focus, individual and family focused. Together, these levels ensure a comprehensive and layered approach to improving health outcomes at scale. The public health interventions that I present today shows all levels of practices, providing insight into what works and to demonstrate their potential, even indirectly, for rapid and substantial impact in sustaining child survival. These interventions include community-based management of malnutrition, universal salt iodization, multi-sectoral programs in empowering communities. Each of these interventions play a critical role in strengthening child survival by addressing underlying nutritional and developmental risks during key stages of growth. In my professional capacity, I have been involved in these interventions by offering either technical guidance or conducting research to streamline implementation. The first public health intervention that I am going to discuss is community-based management of malnutrition, which was initially introduced under the name Nutrition Rehabilitation Program named NRP. This program was first implemented in the conflict-affected areas of the north and east of Sri Lanka. In 2004, a study was conducted in the Mullaitivu district of the northern province at the height of the conflict. It was carried out with the support of central and district health staff in collaboration with the World Food Programme, which was led by Visakha Tilakaratne. Remarkably, the study was also supported by the LTT, enabling a complete census of all enabling a complete census of all children under 5 in the district. I would like to acknowledge the late Dr. Sibyl Vijay Singh from the Family Health Bureau, who accompanied us despite the tight security measures. She appears in this photo, which was taken at the time at the MOH office in Mullaitivu. A total of 12,271 children under the age of 5 were included in the study. The results revealed that 2.8% of the children were suffering from severe acute malnutrition, and 21.6% were wasted. According to WHO criteria, these levels constituted the public health emergency, requiring urgent intervention to prevent child deaths. Subsequent assessments were conducted in 2006 among displaced population in the Trincomalee and Batticaloa districts of the Eastern Province and supported by the UNICEF. This slide shows the alarming pattern of severe acute malnutrition and wasting among children under 5 years living in these displaced communities. In Batticaloa district, the prevalence of wasting was 34% and severe malnutrition was 5.3%. While in Trincomalee district, the prevalence of wasting was 23%. Considering the critical context of the emergency situation, the first protocol for treating children with severe acute malnutrition using ready-to-use therapeutic foods, including BP100 and plum peanut, was developed with the support of the dedicated group of experts. The steering committee included community physicians Dr. Sudhachani Fernandopulle from the Family Health Bureau and Dr. Shanti Gunawardana from the Nutrition Directorate. Pediatrician Dr. Shanti Mala De Silva from Lady Ridgeway Hospital and the late Dr. Chandrani Piyasena Nutrition Unit at MRI. One of the next major challenges was training district health staff. Due to limited accessibility, the medical officers of maternal and child health in Batticaloa, Dr. Navalochitha, Trincomalee, Dr. Gunalan, Jaffna, Dr. Ketiswaran, Kilinochi and Mullaitivu, Dr. Satyamurthy, took on the responsibility of training staff to implement the nutrition rehabilitation program at the district level with the support of UNICEF health staff in districts, Sudarman and Gauri. I would like to appreciate their dedication and commitment. At the time, I was working with UNICEF and was able to provide both technical and logistical support to these 5 districts through the easily accessible UN system. The first consignment of RUTF was distributed through the World Food Programme's logistics network. However, the second container of RUTF was seized by the government army forces in Vaunia. Subsequently, the health secretary, late Dr. Atula Kahandaliyanige, and I were questioned by the Criminal Investigation Department under suspicion that the RUTF shipment was intended to support the war effort. Jaffna district faced significant challenges due to the closure of the A9 route, which caused food prices to skyrocket. At a review meeting in 2007, Dr. Kethiswaran presented the district's progress as summarized in this slide. 29,698 children were screened, representing 72% of the under 5 population in Jaffna district. The prevalence of wasting was 30.5% and severe wasting was 6.7%. Following the initiation of the NRP, wasting was reduced to 19% within 3 months. This was our independent assessment for Jaffna district, which showed that wasting had reduced from 19% to 10%, a level lower than the national prevalence at the time. In conclusion, it was stated that the Jaffna Nutrition Rehabilitation Program achieved a strong short-term impact with high coverage and good recovery rates among children with acute malnutrition. Soon after the war ended, the RUTF container was released, making RUTF sufficiently available to initiate the nutrition rehabilitation program for displaced children suffering from severe acute malnutrition, starting from the very first month. I had by then returned to the Ministry of Health and was able to conduct 3 assessments among the displaced populations living in camps in collaboration with UNICEF and WFP. Immediately, these assessments were immediately after the end of the war, at the middle assessment, and just before resettlement as shown in this slide. These are the few graphs that I have extracted from these studies. The prevalence of wasting decreased from 35.6% to 13%, and severe acute malnutrition declined from 8.8% to 1.9%. This success was the result of the collective effort by the Ministry of Health involving both central and district level staff under the supervision of the Family Health Bureau. The program was supported by all UN agencies in a well-coordinated manner, without duplication of activities. Community mobilization was carried out by NGOs such as Sarvodaya led by Dr. Vinyari Ratna, Plan International led by Dr. Kalana Piris, World Vision, etc. Inward management of children was handled by hospital staff led by pediatricians. This data was presented during the Geneva Human Rights Inquiry to demonstrate that individuals from the north and east were not subject to discrimination and were afforded equal treatment as those in the rest of the country. What is the relationship between the nutrition rehabilitation program and child survival? Here are the few children we met during our assessments. You can see clear cases of both kwashiorkor and marasmus. Without timely intervention, we know what their fate would have been. This highlights the critical role of the NRP in saving lives. It may well be one of the key reasons why the decline in child mortality in Sri Lanka was not disrupted even during periods of intense conflict, possibly due to the effective and timely management of children with malnutrition. In 2012, the National Nutrition and Micronutrients Survey revealed that the prevalence of wasting was above 15% in all districts except Putlam, and the rate of severe acute malnutrition ranged from 0.4% to 6.1%. In response to these findings, new protocols were developed, and a decision was made to scale up the program island-wide with the support of UNICEF. The program has expanded significantly. However, the Ministry of Health continues to import the high-cost BP100. with procurement supported by the willingness of donors. 2 acceptability studies conducted in 2010 and 2023 showed that a locally produced formula is well accepted. In 2010, there was no private food producer available to manufacture the product due to the limited volume of supplies required for the country. This slide presents an alternative product we developed for children with moderate wasting. Unfortunately, it could not be pursued further due to internal challenges and differing perspective among colleagues. At present, an effectiveness trial is not needed, as the composition is already well tested and has demonstrated positive outcomes. However, there may be a need to assess the bioavailability of the raw materials used in the local ingredients. The main challenge now is identifying a private sector partner to sustain local production of the product. What are the lessons learned from this public health intervention? This is one of the successful public health interventions implemented by the public health system of the Ministry of Health. The success is due to many factors, such as continuous updating of the SAM protocol, follow-up research, use of real-time results, strong networking, commitment of trained public health staff, effective support from donors and NGOs, and the involvement of mothers. The community-based management of acute malnutrition approach proved to be life-saving and scalable, reaching children in remote and conflict-affected areas. It enabled timely identification of children with SAM through regular screening by public health staff. This was a cost-effective intervention, significantly reducing the burden on hospitals and families. It also empowered caregivers, particularly mothers, by involving them in the solution, rather than positioning them merely as recipients of food aid. In the Sri Lankan context, where conflict and displacement disrupted access to healthcare, NRP provided an effective mechanism to reach the unreached, restore child health, and rebuild trust in the health system. The availability of real-time data and results created opportunities for the program to be scaled up nationally and sustained over time. After highlighting the need for private sector involvement in the previous intervention, I would now like to present a second public health intervention that successfully demonstrated effective public-private partnership at the Universal Salt Iodization Program. According to the World Health Organization, iodine deficiency disorders, which can begin even before birth, threaten children's mental development and in severe cases their survival. Serious iodine deficiency during pregnancy can lead to stillbirth, spontaneous abortion, and congenital abnormalities such as retinism, a severe, irreversible form of mental impairment. A goiter belt was identified in Sri Lanka, primarily covering the wet zone of the country as shown in this slide. When I was working at the Lady Ridgeway Children's Hospital in 1986, it was common to see children with cretinism admitted to the ward. A landmark study conducted by late Professor Malcolm Fernando, Professor of Community Medicine at the University of Peradeniya in 1986. The study revealed that 19% of school children were affected by goiter. As a result, iodine deficiency was recognized as a major public health problem in the country. In response, the Ministry of Health launched the Universal Salt Iodization Program in 1995 under the provision of the Food Act. After returning from my foreign training in 1999, I took on the challenge of establishing the iodine laboratory. At the time, this was a difficult task due to recurring issues with contamination. With the support of the late Dr. Milayanthi Gunatilaka, chemical pathologist at MRI and UNICEF, the laboratory was successfully established. Staff were trained and accreditation were achieved through the CDC Atlanta EQUIP program. This enabled us to conduct the first national iodine survey in 2000. This slide shows the child we found during the survey with a visible goiter, and overall goiter rate was 21%. Although all provinces were iodine sufficient, the Uva province was iodine deficient, while the North Central province had more than adequate iodine levels based on median urinary iodine concentrations. It was found that iodine levels in drinking water were high in the North Central province due to hard water. A prominent finding was the varied iodine content in salt, caused by improper mixing and inconsistent addition of iodine, as shown in I will show the pictures later. This highlighted the importance of regular monitoring. At that time, SLMA presidents, Professor Chandrika Vijayaratne and Professor Vajra Disanayaka played a key role in advocating for the study's findings to help streamline and ensure uniformity in salt iodine levels. I have delivered SLMA oration on iodine during this period. Subsequently, national surveys were conducted every 5 years, with a total of 5 surveys completed. As shown in this slide, all assessment was supported by UNICEF. As recommended by the WHO, 3 indicators were monitored. The first was the goiter rate, which declined to the target level of less than 5% by 2005. Median urinary iodine concentrations remained within the normal range throughout the period. However, the proportion of households using adequately iodized salt has been below 90% since 2010. Successive directors of the Food Administration Unit of the Ministry of Health have used the survey results to enhance the monitoring of iodized salt. This included changes to regulations through updated Gazette notifications to address variations in salt iodine levels. I would like to acknowledge the dedication and extensive coordination of the Directorate of Environmental and Occupational Health and Community Physicians, as well as the country's extensive network of public health inspectors. The members of the Food Advisory Committee also supported this initiative wholeheartedly. Over the years, many changes have taken place in iodized salt production. You can see in this slide. Salt manufacturers transition from manual to automated systems for iodine addition, leading to improved quality of iodized salt as shown in these pictures. This slide shows the finding of the most recent assessment conducted in 2022. The results were alarming, indicating low iodine status across all population groups. Particularly concern was the iodine insufficiency observed among pregnant women. Such setbacks are not unusual in long-standing public health programs, especially during times of national crisis, such as the COVID-19 pandemic and the recent economic downturns. The most important aspect is acknowledging the problem and taking corrective action. Often when results like these are published, there is a tendency for authorities to question the findings, citing poor sampling methods or inaccuracies. However, the Food Control Directorate responded positively, investigating the root causes. It was discovered that salt producers were adding lower levels of iodine to avoid exceeding the maximum permitted limit set by the Gazette, in order to avoid penalties. Following this, several discussions were held with salt producers, and Dr. Jayalal's team initiated efforts to amend the Gazette. This situation provides a valuable lesson in the long-term sustainability of public health interventions. The Food Control Directorate has launched iodine sentinel surveillance among pregnant women with the support of the Iodine Global Network in 2023 and repeated in 2024 showing encourage in progress. Furthermore, Dr. Gitsiri Edirisinghe, missionary leader, established the CDC accredited reference laboratory at IIHS to support this surveillance program, further strengthening public-private collaboration. These are the few publications produced over the years, documenting the progress of the program and the challenges encountered. What lessons have we learned from this highly successful public health intervention in Sri Lanka? First, strong public-private partnerships are essential. Sustaining a universal public health intervention requires close collaboration between the public and private sectors. In the case of iodized salt, private sector producers implemented the intervention while the public sector provided oversight, guidance, and support. Second, the government as a regulator and enabler. The government's role should not be limited to enforcement. Instead, it must act as both a regulator and a facilitator, supporting monitoring systems, updating regulations when necessary, and trusting the private sector to deliver on implementation. Third, effective intra-ministerial coordination. Within the Ministry of Health, effective coordination among various units, including food control, nutrition, ENOH, public health officers, was key to consistent monitoring and rapid response to emerging challenges. Fourth, research-driven decision-making. One of the most important lessons is the value of applying research findings to improve programs. Evidence from national surveys, sentinel surveillance, and laboratory data directly inform policy changes and strengthen the intervention over time. Fifth, resilience and adaptability. Setbacks such as decline in iodine status in 2022 demonstrate the need for programs to be resilient and adaptable. The willingness to acknowledge challenges and course correct is vital for long-term sustainability. The third public health intervention I will present is the scaling up of nutrition through multi-sectoral program. Sri Lanka joined the scaling of nutrition movement in 2010, which was coordinated by Dr. Lalit Chandradas at the Presidential Secretariat under the leadership of Mr. Andrew Dissanayake. A national roadmap was developed, along with training manuals and standard operating procedures for the multi-sectoral committees. As shown in this slide, I had the opportunity to be involved from the beginning, serving as a technical advisor. The activities were primarily supported by UNICEF and other UN partners, who played a key role in advancing the program. I will highlight few activities. This slide shows the community-based complementary feeding program conducted by MOMC Chambantota and the reduction of underweight in parallel to the intervention. Several factors positively influenced the success of this program, including the high level of commitment from health staff at all levels, including administrators, the dedication and participation of the mothers involved, the uninterrupted implementation of the program largely due to strict adherence to pre-planned schedules, the sustainability of the program without requiring additional funding. Feeding a child is never just about food. It is about knowledge, tradition, time, confidence, and care. Community nutrition promotion turns this daily act into a life-saving intervention. This slide presents another assessment conducted to evaluate the impact of the multisectoral program. It revealed changes in the prevalence of malnutrition across selected districts between 2009 and 2012. Except for stunting in all districts, low birth weight in the Badulla district and underweight in the Monragala district, the prevalence of most malnutrition indicators increased during this period. The highest increases in underweight, wasting, and low BMI were observed in the Monragala district, despite it being an intervention area. Conversely, the largest decrease in stunting occurred in Nuwara Eliya district, where the intervention was also implemented. These findings indicate that further attention is needed to address maternal nutrition and the wasting of children to improve outcomes. Community-based health promotion model was implemented by the Foundation for Health Promotion under the leadership of Professor Diyanath Samarasinghe and Dr. Manoj in 5 districts. Rationale was, despite several years of implementing both food-related and health-related strategies in these districts, improvements remained limited. This highlighted the need for a new and more effective approach in which the community itself initiates, develops, and maintains activities that promote child nutrition and support children's mental and social development. This slide shows that the 15 activities initiated by them. One of the interesting activities was Vibhagapora, comprised of drumstick leaf and sprats, to be added to each meal of the child. Recently, I met public health matron from Anuradhapura district and mentioned mothers still keep these bottles in their kitchen. And mothers feel children do maths well after taking this formula. Evaluation revealed that this program successfully built the capability of mothers, enabling them to creatively contribute to improving their children's nutrition. This empowerment allowed mothers to diversify their approaches and take ownership of solutions, demonstrating the value of community-led initiatives. In summarizing the lesson learned from these public health interventions, several key insights have emerged. These include the effective use of field research, the pivotal role of strong leadership, and the importance of delivery strategies that actively engage community-level implementers. The success of these programs was also significantly influenced by clearly defined guidelines, robust system support, adequate resources, and effective coordination mechanisms. The purpose of today's oration was not merely to examine the outcomes of individual programs, but to highlight the common factors that contributed to their success. These shared elements play a critical role in advancing child survival and nutrition efforts in Sri Lanka, and they provide valuable lessons for designing, implementing, and scaling similar interventions in other settings. In conclusions, the decades of rapid decline in infant and child mortality in Sri Lanka also witnessed rapid expansion and high coverage of proven mortality reduction interventions such as community-based management of malnutrition, salt iodization, community empowerments. Socio-economic conditions were also changing during this period, and the decline in mortality resulted from overall improvements in incomes, education, and access to social services. However, evidence of successful scaling up of these programs clearly indicate that some substantial proportion of mortality decline can be attributed to child survival programs. Yet, challenges remain. Poverty, inequities, system weakness, and behavioral gaps call for our continuous vigilance and action. Through strong health systems, evidence-based policies, and empowered communities, we can bridge these gaps. Child survival is not the work of one person, one program, or one moment. It is the product of robust policies, resilient systems, and empowered communities. As a final note, I would like to emphasize that after our board certification as specialists, we often feel as though we know everything. However, I have come to realize that continuous growth requires the guidance of our mentors. Their support is essential for refining our skills and strengthening our competencies. These improvements have led us to international recognition. I am proud to be a public health specialist, as it allows us to collaborate across all clinical disciplines. Every disease, whether acute or chronic, requires interventions at the primary, secondary, and tertiary levels of prevention. And public health plays a central role in all of them. Clinicians help thousands, but public health specialists help millions to live healthier and happier lives. I would also like to sincerely acknowledge the support of my former colleagues at the MRI, as well as my husband Amal and my children Pumika and Hirun, who have stood by me throughout my career. My special thanks also go to the late Professor Dulitha Fernando, in whose name we deliver this oration today. Her dedicated involvement at the policy level was instrumental in achieving the public health milestones that we showcased today. Thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you very much, Dr. Renaka Jayatesa, for that deeply insightful and inspiring oration. So your eloquent reflections on strengthening child survival through community-based interventions have not only enriched our understanding, but also reignited a collective sense of purpose among all of us in the health community. So we are sincerely grateful for you, Dr. Jayatesa, for illuminating this event with your wisdom and for continuing to lead with both expertise and heart. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to honor exceptional commitment and excellence. The College of Community Physicians of Sri Lanka proudly confers its fellowships to individuals whose professional contributions have left an indelible mark in the field of public health. This award of fellowship is a prestigious accolade recognizing exceptional dedication and service. This year, a dedicated fellowship committee meticulously reviewed all the applications, evaluating each against the criteria outlined in the constitutions of the CCPSL, and arrived at unanimous decisions for all sections assessed. It is my pleasure to announce the members of the college who are being conferred with this esteemed fellowship today. While the award is presented individually, I kindly request the respective fellow receiving their fellowship to please stand on stage as their citations are recited by members of the college. To begin, the first member to receive the fellowship of the College of the Community Physicians of Sri Lanka today is Dr. Nirupa Chandani Palevatta. To read out the citation, may I invite on stage Dr. Suraj Pereira.
Dr. Nirupa Palevatta. Dr. Nirupa Palevatta was born on 21st of June 1962. She commenced her primary education at Ratnavali Balika Vidyalaya, Gampaha, and continued her secondary education at Vishaka Vidyalaya, Colombo. She pursued her medical degree at Minsk State University, Belarus, and graduated in 1989. Upon completion of her internship in 1991, Dr. Palevatta began her medical career as a medical officer in anesthesia at Base Hospital Polonnaruwa and subsequently served at the Medical Research Institute, Colombo. She obtained her master's in community medicine in 1998 and Doctor of Community Medicine in 2005 and completed her post-MD training at the University of Aberdeen in the United Kingdom. She served as a member of the editorial committee of the Journal of the College of Community Physicians of Sri Lanka from 2015 to 2022. With more than 25 years of dedicated service in public health, Including 18 years as a specialist in community medicine, she has held numerous posts within the Ministry of Health. She has represented Sri Lanka at various international forums and authored several scientific publications. She continues to serve as a reviewer of research articles and has been a member of the Ministry's Research Management Committee since 2018. During her 13 years tenure as consultant community physician and deputy director of the National Program for Tuberculosis Control, she made significant contribution to national guidelines and manuals. Dr. Pallewatta recently retired from the government service as the director of anti-leprosy campaign. President Sir, considering the great contributions made to the field of public health, I present to you Dr. Nirupa Pallewatta for the conferment of the fellowship of the College of Confucians of Sri Lanka for the year 2025.
Now, the President of the College of the Community Physicians of Sri Lanka, Dr. Kapila Jayarathne, will now confer the fellowship on Dr. Nirupa Shandani Pallewatta. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together once again as we confer Dr. Nirupa Shandani Pallewatta as a Fellow of the College of Community Physicians of Sri Lanka. Thank you, sir. Our next member to receive the fellowship is Dr. Koralage Hasita Aravinda Tissera. To read out the citation of Dr. Koralage Hasita Aravinda Tissera, I'd like to invite on stage Dr. Ishanka Thalagala.
Dr. Koralage Hasita Aravinda Tissera received his early education at Royal College Colombo and entered North Colombo Medical College in 1989. He graduated with second-class honors in the year 1995 and completed his internship at Badulla General Hospital. His interest in community medicine began during his tenure as regional epidemiologist in Nampara amidst the civil conflict in 1998. He earned his MSc in Community Medicine in the year 2002 and MD in Community Medicine in 2005 from the Postgraduate Institute of Medicine, University of Colombo, and was board certified in the year 2006. His overseas training included a fellowship at the Center for Infectious Disease Surveillance, United Kingdom, and later at the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine, where he led a febrile illness surveillance study in Colombo. Dr. Tissera has been the secretary of the College of Community Physicians of Sri Lanka in the year 2009-2010 tenure and has been a council member for several tenures, including the current council of the college. Dr. Tissera has authored over 60 scientific papers with 1,773 Google Scholar citation and an H-index of 22. He has received the Presidential Awards for research since 2009. He led Sri Lanka's National Dengue Control Unit from the year 2013 to 2019, spearheading major advances in dengue clinical management, surveillance, and community engagement. In the year 2024, he was appointed as the acting chief epidemiologist of the Ministry of Health and Mass Media. Further, internationally, he is collaborating with institutions such as the University of Notre Dame, Johns Hopkins University, and the World Health Organization. He served as a consultant to the World Health Organization Western Pacific region and is currently a reviewer for the WHO guidelines on arboviral infections. President, Sir, considering the great contributions made to the field of public health, I present to you Dr. Koralage Hasita Aravinda Tissera for the conferment of the fellowship of the prestigious College of Community Physicians of Sri Lanka for the year 2025.
May I now request the President of the College of the Committee Physicians of Sri Lanka, Dr. Kapila Charatna, accompanied by the Secretary of the CCPSL, Dr. Ruan Ferdinando, to now confer the fellowship on Dr. Koralage Hasita Aravinda Thisera. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands one together in congratulating Dr. Koralage Hasita Aravinda Thisera on this well-deserved honor. Thank you, sir. Our next member to receive the fellowship is Professor Shrinika De Silva Valiange. To read out the citation of Professor Shrinika De Silva Valiange, I'd like to invite on stage Professor Dulani Samaranayaka.
Professor Shrinika De Silva Valianga obtained MBBS from the Faculty of Medicine, Colombo in 2002, MSc in Community Medicine in 2007, and MD in Community Medicine in 2011. She joined the Department of Community Medicine, University of Colombo in 2007 and was promoted to the post of Professor in Community Medicine in 2024. She has served as the Assistant Treasurer, the Editor, a Council Member, and a Subcommittee Member of the College of Community Physicians, and is a member of the Editorial Board of the Journal of College of Community Physicians of Sri Lanka since the year 2016 to date, and has actively participated in all activities of the college. She has served as a module coordinator, postgraduate supervisor, a trainer and an examiner for MSc and MD community medicine programs, and as a member of the Prospectus Committee. She has served as an examiner of public health research in other local and international universities, and is a member of the Subject Committee in Community Medicine for the examination for registration to practice medicine of the Sri Lanka Medical Council. Professor Valianga has over 25 research publications in peer-reviewed journals, has authored chapters of several books, and was a team member for the development of the curriculum for Research Ethics Training Program and Research Methodology Training Program for Education Training and Research Unit of the Ministry of Health. She has contributed to national level research and has provided technical expertise to national and international public health activities. She has served as a national consultant at the World Health Organization Country Office in Sri Lanka on work related to creating healthy cities and operationalization of the Essential Health Services Package. President, sir, considering the immense contributions made to the field of public health, I present to you Professor Shrinika De Silva Valianga for the conferment of the fellowship of the College of Community Physicians of Sri Lanka for the year of 2025.
May I now request the President of the College of the Committee Physicians of Sri Lanka, Dr. Kapila Charatna, accompanied by the Secretary of the CCPSL, Dr. Ruan Ferdinando, to now officially confer the fellowship on Professor Shrinika De Silva Valiange. We congratulate Professor Shrinika De Silva Valiange, conferred as a Fellow of the College of the Committee Physicians of Sri Lanka. And the final member receiving the fellowship in this ceremony is Dr. Sandhya Kaushalya Kasuriarachi. To read out the citation, of Dr. Sandhya Kaushalya Kasturiarachi, may I call upon stage Dr. Utpala Amarasinghe.
Dr. Sandhya Kaushalya Kasturiarachi is a board-certified consultant in community medicine and currently heads the Monitoring and Evaluation Unit of the Family Health Bureau, Ministry of Health. She was educated at Visakha Vidyalaya, Colombo, earned her MBBS from the University of Peradeniya in 1998, MSc in Community Medicine from the University of Colombo in 2001, and MD in 2009. She served as Additional MOH Paduka, Medical Officer at the FHB, and Medical Officer at the Anti-Leprosy Campaign, where she helped develop Sri Lanka's National Strategic Plan for Leprosy Control 2014 to 2018. In 2016, she became head of the Monitoring and Evaluation Unit at FHB, pioneering in the digitalization of Sri Lanka's Routine Health Information System, ERHMIS, which won several national and international awards. She also developed the Maternal and Newborn Health Information System for private hospitals, the eBridge learning platform for the maternal and child health training, and a supervision framework for RMN-CAH programs. Dr. Kasturiarachi has held roles including Secretary of the Board of Study in Community Medicine, Module Coordinator for the MSc in Community Medicine, member of PGIM's Ethics Review Committee, and member of the Specialty Board in Bioinformatics. She has supervised numerous MSc and MD dissertations, delivered the Dr. A.V.K.V. De Silva Oration in 2024, and served as President of the Perinatal Society of Sri Lanka in 2020. She sits on the WHO Steering Committee for MNCAH data tools and was Sri Lanka's focal point for the UNICEF WHO consultation on low birth weight and preterm birth. Her research focused on neglected tropical diseases and health information systems with publications and presentations at national and international forums. President, Sir, considering the great contributions made to the field of public health, I present to you Dr. Sandhya Kaushalya Kasturiarachi for the conferment of the Fellowship of the College of Community Physicians of Sri Lanka for the year 2025.
The President of the College of the Community Physicians of Sri Lanka, Dr. Kapila Jayarathne, accompanied with the Secretary of the CCPSL, Dr. Ron Ferdinando, will now confer the fellowship on Dr. Sandhya Kaushalya Kasturiarachi. Ladies and gentlemen, as we congratulate Dr. Sandhya Kaushalya Kasturiarachi being officially conferred as a Fellow of the College of the Community Physicians of Sri Lanka, the awarding of fellowships for this ceremony comes to a close. So each of the respected and acclaimed individuals who has been confirmed with the prestigious honor of fellowship of the College for the Community Physicians today, we appreciate your contribution to the field of public health. Another round of applause to these fellows, please. And now we move on to the next segment of the program, the awarding of prizes for academic performances. Here, we recognize the outstanding achievements of individuals who have excelled in their academic pursuits within the field of community medicine. So let us celebrate their dedication and commitment to academic excellence. The first award for this evening for the recipient of the Dr. C.H. Piyaratne Memorial Gold Medal for Community Medicine, awarded by the Postgraduate Institute of Medicine, University of Colombo, which is presented in recognition for the highest academic performance at the MSc in Community Medicine examination for the year 2023. This prestigious award is presented to Dr. Madhusankar Ruvimal Aberatne Bandara. I'd like to invite the President of the College of the Community Physicians of Sri Lanka, Dr. Kapila Jayarathne, to kindly present the award of the highest academic performance at the MSc Community Medicine 2023 to Dr. Madhusankar Ruvimal Aberatne Bandara. Congratulated Dr. Madhusankar Ruvimal Aberatne Bandara, and now we move on to the next award for the recipient of Dr. C.H. Piyaratne Memorial Gold Medal for Community Medicine, awarded by the Postgraduate Institute of Medicine, University of Colombo for the academic year 2024, which is presented in recognition of the highest academic performance at the MSc in Community Medicine examination. The CCPSL Award in recognition for the highest academic performance at the MSc in Community Medicine examination for the year 2024 is awarded to Dr. Ranavira Arachige Shashika Lakmali Ranavira Arachi for demonstrating the outstanding academic excellence in MSc Community Medicine examination 2024. Gentlemen, we congratulate Dr. Ranavira Arachige, Shashika Lakmali Ranavira Arachi. And now we've come to the final award of the two-day ceremony, a recognition of commendable academic achievement in postgraduate training, the Dr. Kapila Jayarathne Award for the highest academic performance at the MD Community Medicine Theory Examination 2023 is awarded to Dr. Niroshan Melinda Gamlat. Now, the President of the College of the Community Physicians of Sri Lanka, Dr. Kapila Jayarathne, will present the plaque in recognition of this accomplishment. Ladies and gentlemen, another round of applause. The warmest congratulations to Dr. Gamlat for his outstanding academic performance. And as we near the conclusion of this memorable evening, may I now cordially invite the Secretary of the College of the Community Physicians of Sri Lanka, Dr. Ruan Ferdinando, to deliver the vote of thanks expressing the graduate to all who have worked tirelessly.
Good evening, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the College of Community Physicians of Sri Lanka, it's my distinct honor and privilege to deliver the vote of thanks on this memorable occasion. We are deeply grateful to Her Ladyship, Mrs. Murdu Fernando, President's Council and Honorable Chief Justice, for gracing us with the esteemed presence as guest of honor today. Your support and encouragement inspires greatly. Our heartfelt thanks to go to Professor Krishanta Abesena, Honorable Minister of Science and Technology, for your presence and insights, which added immense value to this event. We warmly acknowledge Professor J.A. Jayalal, President of the Commonwealth Medical Association, and Professor Indika Karunatilaka, Vice Chancellor of the University of Colombo, and Secretary General of APAC, for joining us as special guests, and for your continued collaboration with the college. We are especially thankful to our keynote speaker, Dr. Zivai Murira, Regional Advisor Nutrition, UNICEF Regional Office for South Asia, for the thought-provoking address, and also to the orator, Dr. Dulita and Fernand Oration, Dr. Renuka Jayatissa, Vice Chancellor of the International Institute of Health Sciences and Specialist in Community Medicine, for delivering an inspiring oration. Indeed, it was a privilege to be in the audience, madam, to listen to and oration like that. We also gratefully acknowledge Dr. Nihal Abesinghe, our past president and fellow, the Honorable Member of Parliament present here today. Our deep appreciation goes to our own leaders, the past presidents and fellows of the CCPSL, Dr. Kapila Jayaratne, who made this truly a global event, the conference co-chair of the GPHS 2025, and the council members of the CCPSL, and also Professor Vajira Disanayake, Dean of the Faculty of Medicine, University of Colombo, and conference co-chair of GPHS 2025, for your steadfast leadership. We extend our sincere thanks to the scientific committee chairs, Professor Upul Senrat, Professor of Community Medicine, University of Colombo, and Dr. Tushani Dabrera, Consultant Committee Physician and our own treasurer, whose vision and hard work shaped this academic program. We also recognize Dr. Ishanka Thalagala, editor of CCPSL, along with Professor Charukshi Arambavipola, co-editor of the Journal of the College, Dr. Supan Vijay Singh, online editor, and the editorial board of the JCCPSL, for their continuous contributions to our scholarly outputs. Our gratitude goes to all chairpersons, speakers, moderators of plenary, symposia, and abstract sessions, presenters of abstracts, judges, session coordinators, and reviewers of abstracts, for their commitment to academic excellence. We sincerely thank the sponsors of the CCPSL Research and Health System Awards and their families who are here for their generous support, which encourages excellence in public health. We also gratefully acknowledge our partner institutions, including the Dangerous Drugs Control Board, Faculty of Medicine, University of Colombo, Family Health Bureau, Commonwealth Medical Association, World Health Organization, APAC, International Stillbirth Alliance, Ministry of Health, Sri Lanka, and PATH, Program for Appropriate Technology in Health, and UNFPA, for their invaluable collaboration and continued partnership. We also thank the representatives from other professional colleges for joining us in this endeavor. A warm appreciation to our dance and music, to our music and dance performers for their contributions in enriching the event with their artistry, and to the team behind the scenes, all postgraduate trainees and members of the CCPSL for their hard work. We thank our event organizer, Tamarind Events, and the excellent team at Hilton Residencies, especially Mr. Priyal, Mr. Kashmir, and their staff, for providing seamless support. We also recognize the unwavering dedication of our office staff, especially Mr. Lantra, and the team whose behind-the-scenes efforts made everything possible. A special word of thanks to our compeer, Dr. Tatsara Virutanga, for guiding us gracefully through this event. We congratulate all newly conferred fellows and the trainees who are recognized for their outstanding performances. Finally, to all our invited guests, well-wishers, and all individuals and institutions not specifically mentioned but who contributed in countless ways, we extend a warm gratitude to all of you. We look forward to continuing our collaboration for the advancement of public health in Sri Lanka and beyond, for the betterment of our communities. I wish you all a pleasant evening. Thank you.
you for that wonderful performance, for the vibrant and uplifting drum performance. And with this joyful celebration, we officially conclude Global Public Health Summit 2025, held in conjunction with the 30th Annual Academic Sessions of the College of the Community Physicians of Sri Lanka. So may these discussions ignite tonight, illuminate your collective path forward in global health equity. So thank you for being a part of this definitive moment in our journey to ensure that every baby thrives and every community flourishes. So you're warmly invited to join us for the welcome reception at the hall adjacent to this, where you'll have the opportunity to relax, enjoy good food, and most importantly, mingle and connect with your colleagues and friends. So finally, may I kindly request all of you to please rise as the ceremonial procession now leaves the hall.